Could Trey Hendrickson be on his way to Buffalo? Welcome in to this edition of Bills Breakdown, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. ESPN has a new trade idea that could send the star pass rusher to the Bills Mafia. We'll explain more coming up in just a bit. Before we do that, folks, we have been bringing you Bills content over the last couple of months. It's required a couple of different hosts to be able to do it. You see me from time to time, Moose, Harry, Smitty, whatever it may be. If you want some more consistent Bills coverage, the best thing you guys can do is send a message to the bosses that you guys are all in on Bills Breakdown here at Chat Sports by subscribing to the channel. It's real simple, folks. More subscribers means more content. So let's get at least 20 subs off today's video. Let the bosses know. Subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/Bills News, and we'll get started with today's show. ESPN's Dan Graziano is proposing a trade that would send Bengals defensive end Trey Hendrickson to the Buffalo Bills. And the trade idea goes as follows. The Buffalo Bills would give up a 2026 second-round pick in exchange for Trey Hendrickson. That's the trade. That's it. Yes, folks. That's it. Which is kind of mind-blowing to me that that's all we're talking about. There's no graphic error here. There's no misinformation. I know that's a big topic these days. But that's it. Just a second-round pick. If that's the case, if that's all it's going to take to be able to trade for Trey Hendrickson, then that, my friends, is a no-brainer that the Buffalo Bills should jump on the opportunity to capitalize and bring Trey Hendrickson in. We'll talk about the money situation in just a moment, but let's hear more from Dan Graziano of why he's proposing this deal. The Bengals have made it clear they don't want to give away Hendrickson, so I'm not even sure the Bills, likely late second rounder, would be enough. But if the Bengals' demands drop, I could see Buffalo pouncing to secure the veteran edge rusher it needs to take down Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. With offseason pickup Joey Bosa already injured, this move would help the Bills' pass rush add a stronger, healthier option. Hendrickson might not get the new contract of his dreams, but perhaps Bills general manager Brandon Beane could sell him on an improved chance to get to the Super Bowl. This would be, folks, a game changer for the Buffalo Bills if they could add Trey Hendrickson to this defense. Because if you look back at 2024, the thing that I think really held the Buffalo Bills back, I know there was a lot of discussion going into the year about the receiving core. Well, the receiving core was just fine. The run game was pretty solid. The offense held its own. But the defense did not do enough for this Buffalo Bills team to take them where they wanted to go. And you hear the thing that Graziano mentions is the idea of selling Hendrickson on, hey, this is a Super Bowl caliber team. This is a better team than the Cincinnati Bengals. Maybe we can't pay you right away and have to figure out the money situation at some point. But for now, maybe this could be a rental for Trey Hendrickson. And then you explore the contract situation after that. Or he walks in free agency and you just go all in on this year with Trey Hendrickson potentially. With that said, this would take this defense to a new level with Trey Hendrickson. I think this Buffalo Bills defense is still looking for that game changer, the type of guy that would take them over the top, and Trey Hendrickson could potentially be just that for the Buffalo Bills. Your chance to be the GM here on Bills Breakdown. Should the Bills trade for Trey Hendrickson? You got two options here. Type T for trade, P for pass. You might get an ad break while the ad's playing. Get your votes in. Let me know what you think. Now, this trade would surprise me for a number of reasons. Number one, I still personally think that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to get a deal done to keep Trey Hendrickson there in Cincinnati anyway. I would be surprised if they traded him to begin with. But then the other factor, Buffalo here. Now, say what you want, but from the Cincinnati Bengals' point of view, their perspective, they believe that they are right on par with the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens in contending for the AFC. Reality is that beyond Trey Hendrickson, their defense is trash, and they are not a contending team in the AFC. But they think they are. So from their perspective, if they were to trade Trey Hendrickson, they would be sitting there saying to themselves, wait, why would we want to make the Buffalo Bills better and settle for a late second when there's other teams we could send him to and not have to face him and make more life difficult on ourselves here? That's where I kind of disagree with Dan Graziano of Buffalo being a real possibility there, because I just don't see Cincy trying to help out Buffalo. I think, to kind of give you an idea, think of intra-division trades that are rare. I think for the foreseeable future, you're probably not going to see much trades going on between the Bengals, Ravens, Chiefs, and Bills in all reality at this point. More on Trey Hendrickson here. Previously played for the Saints, but his career has really taken off in Cincinnati. A two-time first-team All-Pro the last 2 seasons in 2023 and in 2024. A 4-time Pro Bowler from 2021 to 2024. He's had back-to-back seasons with 17.5 sacks. He's just now entering the prime years of his career right now, folks. We are seeing the very best version of Trey Hendrickson as one of the best pass rushers in all of football. Last season, had a total of 46 tackles, 19 TFLs, 36 QB hits, and 2 forced fumbles. Now, what's it going to cost? Let's say that you do decide that you want to trade for him and get a deal done. We know Buffalo doesn't have a ton of cap space right now. According to Spotrac, Hendrickson's value is about 2 years and close to $63 million. So he could play off this franchise tag number he's on now and then work a deal to get those 2 years potentially for him after that. The Bills' pass rush needs some help. And I think we saw from the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl, in order to beat the Kansas City Chiefs and to be among the best of the best, you got to be able to get after the quarterback. And to the Eagles' credit, they did so without even calling blitzes in the Super Bowl. They did it with their defensive linemen winning up front. And that's where Trey Hendrickson could help in that regard. Because last season, the Bills had a total of 39 sacks. That was 19th best in the NFL in 2024. You want to get after Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and those guys? Well, you're going to need some help. And when you have Bosa, who you spent that money on, already banged up, then that's not great either. You got to be evaluating your options here. Who's the player the Bills should trade for? Give me a name in the comments section that comes to mind, whether it's Trey Hendrickson or it's somebody else out there. Weigh in and let me know. Now, folks, you come to Bills Breakdown because I tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And here's the reality. At this point in time, today is Friday, June 6th. On Friday, June 6th, 2025, the Buffalo Bills are not better than the Kansas City Chiefs right now. For now. All this could change. There's still time. But at this juncture, they are not better than the Kansas City Chiefs. And everything the Buffalo Bills should be doing should be measuring how they stack up with the Kansas City Chiefs. What do they need to do to compete with Kansas City? And right now, with what Kansas City has done this offseason and how well they drafted, Kansas City not only is the reigning AFC champions, but they are the better football team. If you're Buffalo, I think you need to make one more move to put this team over the top, to take that next step to make sure you're in the best position to contend and win the AFC and go for a Super Bowl. And if you bring in a guy like Trey Hendrickson, this could be the difference that this team is potentially looking for. It's a lot of money, sure. You're giving up a second-round pick, but you would be bringing in a guy you could play right away, not having to wait for next year in that second-round pick and seeing what that could potentially become. So if you're Buffalo, if the opportunity's there, I think that's something that you should definitely look into if that's the case. Appreciate you joining us here at Bills Breakdown. For continuing Bills coverage, subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/Bills News. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.